It's a particular honor and pleasure to welcome you to the joint lecture of the Research Center SAFE, the Center of Financial Studies, and the Deutsche Bundesbank. Our speaker, Raghuram Rajan, brings with him an outstanding reputation as a central banker, economic policy maker, and academic. What lends his contributions their particular value is the fact that Raghu is a cross-border commuter par excellence between the academic community and the political arena. And I'm very glad that he accepted to be with us this morning after having already spent the entire weekend with me in Basel, where you, Raghu, have been elected vice chairman of the BIS. So again, congratulations. Since 1995, Raghu has been professor of finance at the University of Chicago. He took a leave of absence in 2013 to become the governor of the Reserve Bank of India. But even when he was young, he already enjoyed a distinguished academic reputation. In 2003, he was awarded the American Finance Association's inaugural Fisher-Black Prize for the best finance researcher under the age of 40. And before becoming governor of the Indian Central Bank, Raghu had already tested his academic insights in the real world. From 2003 to 2006, he was chief economist and director of research at the International Monetary Fund. And again, you were the youngest person ever to hold this position, Raghu. While at the IMF, Raghu embarked on integrating financial sector issues into the IMF's economic country models, which were mainly built by macroeconomists. And to some extent, this reflects his discontent at what he sees as the excessive fragmentation of the economics profession. He would like economists to be good general practitioners, and he would like to see economists develop models that do not assume away crucial aspects such as the financial sector. However, this mission is not yet accomplished. The IMF and hundreds of academics are still working on this task, and this is also representing some of our main research efforts at the Bundesbank. During his time at the IMF in 2005, Raghu presented a paper at the annual Jackson Hole Conference, one of the main annual meetings of central bankers and other high-powered economists, and this paper was titled, "Has Financial Development Made the World Riskier?" A question to which most participants at the time probably replied no. Raghu, however, exposed the dangers lurking in the financial system and concluded that, yes, financial development has made the world riskier. And this was painfully borne out just 2 years later in 2007, the years the financial crisis broke out. In his incisive work, Raghu has shown that the risk appetite of banks increase if central banks implicitly promise to respond to an economic crisis by cutting interest rates and providing nearly unlimited liquidity. Consequently, he has continued to warn about the dangers of a monetary policy that is too loose for too long. And he argues that central banks' mandates should be revised to include financial stability as an explicit objective alongside with price stability. Perhaps, Raghu, I would not go quite that far. However, I do agree that monetary policy bears responsibility for implied risk to financial stability if they affect the long-run outlook for price stability or our capacity to ensure price stability in the future. And in that sense, I share your concerns regarding a monetary policy that is too loose for too long. Those who have worked closely with Raghu have confirmed that there's one mission he has always pursued, and that is to make the world a better place. Raghu has always applied academic insights to economic policy making as chief economist of the IMF and also in various advisory posts in Indian politics. It might well have been against this broad background of experience that he concluded some months ago, and I quote, "It's not just economics, but the political layer that is imposed over it that determines outcomes. And the political layer is much less well understood than economics. Raghu gained even more opportunity to shape the real world in September 2013 when he became governor of the Reserve Bank of India. At that time, India was facing its worst crisis of confidence in 2 decades. Yet again, by charting new territory and embarking on new strategic paths, he created the conditions for a restoration of investors' confidence in India. He halted the rupee's slide by shifting the monetary policy focus clearly towards price stability by means of a glide path towards lower inflation, and supported by falling energy prices, Raghu has managed to bring down inflation from more than 10% in 2013 to its current level of 4.4%. Despite this strong decline, however, short-term inflation expectations have remained relatively high, indicating that anchoring inflation at that low level remains a challenge, similar to those challenges faced by many other countries with a disinflationary monetary policy. Raghu also asserted the independence and credibility of the Reserve Bank of India, both of which are cornerstones of a stability-oriented monetary policy. He also set out to liberalize, develop, and deepen India's financial sector and to enhance competition, knowing that a more developed financial system helps also economic growth. And last but not least, he has promoted financial inclusion, which was one of the subjects over our joint weekend, with regard to small and medium-sized enterprises, the unorganized sector, and the poor. All this has helped to bring an end to India's financial crisis. And Raghu, it has earned you 2 Central Banker of the Year's award. Personally, I have always experienced Raghu as a very inspirational force in the central bank community. Raghu, this is due to your impressive resume as an academic, as an economic policy consultant, and a central banker. With regard to the role of central banks in the financial crisis, you once said, central bankers enjoy the popularity of rock stars. We are both aware that this attribute does not necessarily make it easier for us central bankers to do our job, which is to ensure price stability. However, here in Frankfurt today, we have set up a stage for you. As it befits a central banker, you're going to give a spoken word performance on the rules of the game in the global financial system. So I'm very much looking forward to that and will now hand over to Ottmar Issing. Thank you very much for your attention.